Attorney General William Barr reportedly says U.S. Attorney John Durham's report on the origins of Obamagate, which he promised, remember, he promised all of us, it won't be ready by Election Day. Not the report, not the charges, not the indictments. Barr also telling Republicans not to expect any new indictments from Durham before November 3rd. President Trump, as you might expect, more interested in the public's right to know, was not pleased. Here is his reaction to today's news from the Attorney General.
If that's the case, I'm very disappointed. I think it's a terrible thing, and I'll say it to his face. See, this is what I mean with the Republicans. They don't play the tough game. They don't play the tough game. If this were the other side, you would have had 25 people in jail for the rest of their lives with what we found.
Have you declassified everything about this yet?
I fully declassified everything. Everything's been declassified.
Well, the Attorney General once told Fox News that, quote, developments were likely in the Durham investigation by this summer. That was a while back, wasn't it? The Attorney General's refusal to compel Durham into bringing forth even an interim report before Election Day is in complete breach of his word and defiance of President Trump's order. The president this week ordered the declassification of all relevant Obamagate documents without redactions. The president seeking full transparency for the American people so that they can fully grasp just how phony the Russian collusion narrative was, that it was created by Hillary Clinton, her operatives, funded by Hillary Clinton as well in large measure, and then investigated by the corrupt FBI and intelligence agencies for years. Barr's refusal to follow that order and to keep his word is part of what is now a large existential constitutional crisis that is rising around this country. 25 days before Election Day, it has never been more important for the public to know what is in those documents, regardless of who is exposed. Some of President Trump's cabinet appear to be following through on the president's orders to release documents. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo today told Fox News more of Hillary Clinton's emails will be released in coming days, saying this: I certainly think there'll be more to see before the election. National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien today also beginning to follow through on the president's order. O'Brien has fully released a previously redacted email that was featured on our broadcast last night. That email is from National Security Council analyst Eric Ciaramella, former analyst. The message essentially discusses how a meeting between President Trump and Russian diplomats came to be. On the right, you see the unredacted version, and on the left, the redacted version released by the DOJ. There was no reason for any of it to diplomats came to be. On the right, you see the unredacted version, and on the left, the redacted version released by the DOJ. There was no reason for any of it to be redacted, as you see there. There was no conspiracy, no clues, nothing suggesting anything nefarious at all, except for one thing, that it was as innocent as it could be. And there are a lot of people who don't want you to know just how innocent this president is, despite his exoneration by a special counsel investigation that took almost 2 years, 11 months of an initial FBI investigation, crossfire hurricane. Oh yes, did we mention an impeachment inquiry, and now an out-of-control, more than just crazed Speaker of the House who wants to talk about already new adjustments to the 25th Amendment so that if by some miracle Joe Biden were to win the presidency, by golly, she could just move him right on out of there and move Kamala Harris into that role. But then that would probably make Senator Harris, if she were to become president under those circumstances, just a little nervous about Speaker Pelosi and her ambitions. The document that was released with Charamella's name on it and highlighted, that is the Just the News editor-in-chief John Solomon's announcement on this broadcast last night. It needed to be released. But what has yet to be released? Well, here's a sample of the documents that John Solomon and I were discussing just last night, and which he has put on his website, justthenews.com. The document showing all the requests from the Obama administration unmasking overseas calls of the Trump campaign, transition and family members through Inauguration Day. Documents gathered in DOJ January 27 communications between Comey and McCabe and Priestap concerning the Michael Flynn investigation, of course, and records related to Steele's contact with State Department officials. John Solomon says those documents will allow us to make our own decisions about the full extent of the greatest political scandal in American history. John Solomon and I will be taking this up. John is standing by, ready to talk about all of these documents, what is happening at the White House and the agencies that need to reveal the truth to the American people, because that is exactly what this is about. This is a brewing constitutional crisis, and make no mistake about it, much has to be done before the American people's right to know is honored by the deep state and the radical Dems who have fought truth and justice for years